Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Happy Friday. We got 9 matchups on this NBA slate today. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Check out all my links in the description below. Go ahead and sign up with Parlay Play. Get $10 in risk free entries just for signing up. If you guys like betting on player props for NBA, definitely the site for you. Free NBA tournaments pretty much every day with $100 in prizes. Go ahead and hop in that, guys. Take advantage of that money. And yeah, we'll hop in it here. 9 matchups, starting with the Sacramento Kings versus the Charlotte Hornets. Kings opening up as 1-point favorites with the over/under at 228. The last 10 head-to-head, Charlotte 8-2, 7-3 covering in those matchups. The over has hit 6 out of the last 10 games. Charlotte still dealing with that COVID, the COVID status, still missing a lot of their players. Sacramento 5-5 in their last 10. Charlotte 4-6 in their last 10. Yeah, clearly Charlotte's been struggling since no Lonzo, Rozier. Gonna be tough for them during the stretch until they get a lot of their guys back from COVID. Sacramento 5-2 covering in their last 7 here. Yeah, Sacramento playing nice. A nice couple wins here. A couple over the Clippers and the Magic. Playing decent basketball in this last week here. Yeah, a 1-point spread on the road. Give me the Kings against this, Charlotte team that's just missing a lot of key players here. Yeah, we're taking Sacramento on the road. Next matchup, we have the Brooklyn Nets versus the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks opening up as 1.5-point favorites with the over/under at 224. The last 10 head-to-head, Brooklyn 8-2, 5-5 covering in those matchups. The over has hit 6 out of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. Brooklyn 7-3 in their last 10. Atlanta 7-3 in their last 10 as well. Brooklyn, surprisingly, they've struggled covering against Atlanta. Just 1-4 covering against the Hawks. But great road team, 6-1 on the road, 6-1 covering against Atlanta on the road here. Barring anything crazy, I really don't know why Brooklyn is the underdog, to be honest. Kevin Durant should be good to go. I don't see any Kevin Durant news here. Maybe there's something I don't know about, but from what I'm seeing, I'm not seeing anything. Hopefully nothing comes out, but if KD plays, because I know he was out the last game, loving the Nets on the road plus the points. I feel like there might be some line movement here. I don't know. Yeah, taking the Nets on the road. They took that bad loss against Houston, but there was no KD, so that makes sense. As long as KD's playing, we're taking the Nets plus the points here. Next matchup, we have the Detroit Pistons versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans opening up as 6-point favorites with the over/under at 212. The last 10 head-to-head, the Pelicans 6-4. Detroit is 6-4 covering in those matchups. The over has hit 5 out of the last 10 meetings. Detroit currently on a 10-game losing streak. Pelicans 4-6 in their last 10. Detroit just, playing horrible basketball. Both teams suck. That's just pretty simple. Detroit on this awful losing streak here, 2-10 on the road against the Pelicans. Pelicans 10-2 at home against Detroit. This matchup sucks. Really nothing good could come from betting on this game, to be honest. Hard to trust. As bad as Detroit is, can you really trust the Pelicans minus 6 points the way they've looked? They haven't looked that good. They're just as bad, honestly. It's just Detroit's been on a worse losing streak than they have. We'll take Detroit plus the points here. An ugly matchup. Really stay away. Nothing to be gained here. Taking Detroit plus 6 against, two horrible teams in the league. We'll take the points with Detroit. Next matchup, we have the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Houston Rockets. Bucks opening up as 8-point favorites with the over/under at 225. The last 10 matchups, pretty even here, 5-5. And then both teams are 5-5 covering as well. The over has hit 4 out of the last 10 matchups. Milwaukee 8-2 in their last 10. Houston 7-3 in their last 10. Houston it's crazy. Houston's just on a crazy win streak right now, on a 7-game win streak. Really unbelievable if you ask me. 6-0 at home. I mean, who would have thought they'd be on this little streak? No Porter Jr. Friday or Daniel House. Yeah, I don't buy this win streak here. Love the Bucks coming in on the road, -8. Giannis is playing. Everyone's good to go here. They should be able to spoil this little win streak the Rockets have going right now. Rolling with the Bucks minus the points on the road here. All right, next matchup, we have the Dallas Mavericks versus the Indiana Pacers. Pacers opening up as 1.5-point favorites with the over-under at 210.5. The last 10 head-to-head, Dallas 6-4, 6-4 covering in those matchups. The over has hit 6 out of the last 10 meetings. Dallas 3-7 in their last 10. The Pacers 5-5 in their last 10. No real major injuries to report for this matchup here. Dallas 6-3 in their last 9 against the Pacers. 6-3 covering in those matchups. Currently 6-1 covering on the road right now. Pacers 2-4 in their last 6. Kind of on a little rough stretch here. Neither team playing that amazing here, but I'm going to take the free points with the Mavs on the road. Playing healthy, no injuries. Hard to trust this Pacers team at home. Only a 1.5-point spread. Going to roll with Luka and Porzingis on the road. Taking the Mavs plus 1.5. All right, next matchup, we have the New York Knicks versus the Toronto Raptors. Raptors opening up as 1-point favorites with the over-under at 210.5. The last 10 head-to-head, Toronto 8-2, 6-4 covering in those matchups. The over has hit 6 out of the last 10 games. The Knicks 4-6 in their last 10. Toronto is also 4-6 in their last 10 as well. The Knicks, they've struggled against Toronto here. 3-17 against Toronto. 6-12 covering against Toronto. Pretty crazy stats. 0-8 covering on the road against Toronto. They just cannot get it done against Toronto here. Toronto just 8-0 covering at home against New York. I like Toronto at home here. -1. Going to take Toronto on the money line. Number, they got the numbers to back them up. I mean, 8-0 covering at home. 17-3 against New York. I mean, that's kind of crazy, honestly. And the Knicks really haven't been playing that good. They've just 1-4 in their last 5. They haven't looked that good, honestly. Going to be tough considering they've just been awful on the road, especially against Toronto. We'll take Toronto at home. All right, next matchup, we have the Boston Celtics versus the Phoenix Suns. Suns opening up as 5.5-point favorites with the over-under at 217.5. The last 10 head-to-head, Boston 6-4. Phoenix is 8-2 covering in those matchups. The over is hit in 4 out of the last 10 matchups. Don't see any major injuries on either side here. Boston 5-5 in their last 10. Phoenix 9-1 in their last 10. Boston not playing well on the road right now, just 2-5 on the road. 2-9 covering against Phoenix. Phoenix 19-1 in their last 20. 10-0 at home. Love the Suns, especially at home. I mean, 10-0 at home, playing great, playing amazing basketball. And going to be tough for the Celtics team on the road. Take the Suns -5.5 at home. Rolling with Phoenix here. All right, next matchup, we have the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Lakers opening up as 6-point favorites with the over-under at 217. The last 10 head-to-head, Lakers 6-4. OKC 8-2 covering in those matchups. The over-under in this series is hit 7 out of the last 10 matchups. I mean, this is pretty much how this matchup is right here. Lakers coming off a 13-point loss against a Grizzlies team with no John Morant or Dylan Brooks is honestly unacceptable, given the fact that LeBron, AD, and Westbrook were all playing. I mean, Thunder's 2-8 in their last 10. I mean, Thunder on a 2-game winning streak, which is actually pretty good for them, but this Thunder team is very bad, and I'm giving the Lakers one more chance here, as should all of you. Taking the Lakers -6.5, and taking them on the money line as well. And if they do not cover against OKC, they're banned. They're officially done for. Not betting on them, not taking them against the spread for the rest of the season. Mark my words. Until they have some crazy turnaround streak where they get everything going and they're just clicking. So far, we haven't seen that. Lost to Memphis. If they lose to OKC here, I mean, they're done for. And as a bettor, it's got to be tough to bet on the Lakers because they should be able to beat this Oklahoma City Thunder team by 40 points today. They really should. The fact that it's a 6.5-point spread is crazy, considering that the Memphis team that beat the Lakers beat this team by the most points in NBA history. So if the Lakers don't cover this spread, put them in your doghouse for the rest of the season. Kick them out of the league. I don't know. They're done for. Taking the Lakers -6.5. Their season depends on it, honestly. Roll them with the Lakers. All right, and then the last matchup, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves opening up as 1.5-point favorites with the over-under at 216. The last 10 head-to-head, pretty even, 5-5 both ways. The over has hit in 6 out of the last 10 matchups. Cleveland 5-5 in their last 10. 5-2 in their last 7, playing pretty solid on the stretch. Minnesota currently on a 4-game losing streak. Looking pretty horrible during this streak. Cleveland 8-0-1 covering on the road right now. 9-0 covering in their last 9 games. Huge stat right there. I mean, most of those games, more than half of those games, they were underdogs and they've been able to cover here. I like Cleveland on the road. 9-0 covering the spread here. Minnesota struggling on a 4-game losing streak. Give me the Cavs plus 1.5 on the road. And that's going to be it for the video. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Friday, and I'll see you guys Saturday. Have a good one.